Unit 87. The Past and the Present. Why do the British like drinking tea? Everything in Britain stops for tea, says a popular song. It's certainly true that tea is the most popular drink in Britain, far more popular than coffee, which is the favorite drink throughout Europe and America. The Dutch brought the first tea to Europe in about 1610, and the first advertisement for tea appeared in a London newspaper in 1658. A century later, tea was the main drink of all classes in Britain, though the price of a pound of the cheapest tea was about 1/3 of the money that a skilled worker got per week. The lady of the house kept the tea in a special box, often with a lock, and carefully measured it with a teaspoon. Gradually, tea drinking became a fashionable social ritual, and tea gardens blossomed in places like Vauxhall and Marylebone in London, where couples could go for a walk in the afternoon and enjoy a cup of tea with bread and butter and cakes. Tea parties were also popular at home, and people started having regularly afternoon tea. Today, throughout the homes, tea shops and hotels of Britain, the customs of tea time continues. It also remains a characteristic feature of any cricket match. High tea is a more substantial evening meal popular in northern England and Scotland. The British make tea traditionally in a china teapot. They put 1 spoonful of tea per person and 1 for the pot. Then they pour some freshly boiled water onto the leaves and let it brew for a few minutes. Most people in Britain prefer a rich, strong cup of tea with milk and sometimes sugar to taste. Okay, now we have some questions. Some questions on the text. What does a popular song say? The first question here. Okay. Do you remember that? Everything in Britain stops for tea. Okay, let's see. Question number 2. What is the favorite drink in Europe and America? Well, according to the text, coffee is the favorite drink in Europe and America. Number 3. Okay, here. Who brought the first tea to Europe and when? Okay, did you understand that? The Dutch brought the first tea to Europe, and it was in 1610, about 1610. So, question number 4. When and where did the first advertisement for tea appear? Well, it was in London, in a London newspaper. And what about the time? It was 1658. Okay, going on. Number 5. How much was a pound of the cheapest tea? Do you remember? Well, it was 1/3 of the money a skilled worker got per week. Okay, question number 6. How did the lady of the house take care of the tea? Well, it was expensive, yes. So the lady of the house kept it in a box, often with a lock, yes, and measured it carefully with a teaspoon. Now, next question here. Okay, where is still the custom of tea time popular today? Definitely, England. Yes, and question number 9. How do the British make and how do they prefer their tea? Well, it was interesting. Did you understand that? Well, okay, tea is usually prepared in a china teapot. They put 1 teaspoon for each person and 1 for the pot. And then they boil freshly boiled water onto the leaves and they let it brew, okay, for a few minutes. So, moving on. Next question here. Can you explain the expression characteristic feature? What is the characteristic feature? Well, this is something typical. Yes? And in the text they mention high tea. Okay? So this is a certain way of drinking tea which is kind of popular in Northern England and Scotland. 12. What does the word brew mean in the text? Can you guess and explain? So, well, you pour some hot water and you let it brew. You let the tea brew. Запарвам. Now, let's move on. We have some more questions. And the idea is to speak, yes? So, let's try and answer some questions. Generally, do you like tea? Well, yes, I do. But definitely, I have to say that I prefer coffee. Number 2, is tea more popular than coffee in your country? Well, it depends. Yes? So, I can say that there are people who really prefer tea to coffee. Yes? But, okay, generally, I dare say that coffee is more popular than tea. Next, when do you drink your favorite drink? Well, I said that I prefer coffee and, well, this is how I start my day. I drink coffee in the morning. How many cups do you drink every day? Well, not much really. I don't drink much coffee actually. Okay, so I don't drink many cups of coffee. Pay attention. Much is when we use uncountable nouns. Many, well, when we use countable nouns, yes, something that we know. Okay, so I don't drink many cups of coffee, or I don't drink much coffee. Well, usually, okay, 2 cups of coffee. So let's move on. Number 5. Did you like drinking tea, coffee when you were a child? Well, when I was a child, I have to say that I preferred, well, drinking tea. Yes. And number 6. When did you start drinking it? Well, talking about coffee, actually, I started drinking it when I was at university. Number 7. How do you like it? With sugar, cream, lemon, honey? Well, my favorite drink is coffee and I like it with sugar. Number 8. What's your favorite kind of tea, coffee? How many cups of coffee actually have you had today? Well, so far I have had 1 cup of coffee. Did you make tea, coffee in the morning? Yes, I did actually. I made a cup of coffee in the morning. Okay, good. Обърнете внимание на въпросите. Те по принцип са въпроси, които по някакъв начин включват всичко това, което ние сме учили до тук. Do you like tea? Yes, I do. Така, въпросите в сегашно просто време помагат ние да се изразим по принцип. Така, по този начин ние говорим, когато става дума за за повтарящи се действия. Действия като рутина във времето. Обърнете внимание, всички прости времена стоят по един много добър начин, когато ние трябва да изброим някакви неща, които аз харесвам, които харесваме. Например, I usually wake up and then I make a cup of tea, then I drink my tea, then I go to work, then I do this, I do that, then I come back home. По същият начин ние можем да говорим в миналото, използвайки past simple tense. Yesterday, I woke up, I made a cup of coffee, I drank it, then I went to work, okay, I worked until 5, then I got back home, and so on. Обърнете внимание, че когато използвам прости времена, сегашно просто и минало просто време, не пада акцент върху действието само по себе си. Просто споменавам един факт. Okay, let's move on. Минаваме нататък. Okay, next exercise. Fill in. Okay, we have some words here. You can see. Okay. Go to bed. Get up. Be. Switch on. Watch. Drink. Read. Make. Put. Pay attention. Twice. Have. Once again. Twice. Have dinner. Get dressed. Come back. Brush. Buy. Drive. Finish. Go shopping. So, shall we start? Every morning. When I start like this, what does that mean? It means that I speak generally. Yes? So I have to use present simple tense. Something that I have just said. Yes? Okay, so what do I do? Every morning I get up early. Yes? Then I do what? Switch on the coffee machine. Okay. Okay. I switch on the coffee machine. And I drink hot espresso with a lot of sugar. Then my bed. Definitely I make my bed. So I make my bed and have a shower. Yes. I and my hair. So what do I do next? Well, definitely here I get dressed. And brush my hair. Next, I to work. Which one? I can say go to work. I can say what? I drive. Yes. At lunchtime, a sandwich and a cup of coffee. Let's look at the words. Go to bed, drink, read, make. Okay, definitely have. Yes. I have a sandwich and a cup of coffee again. I work at 5. Definitely I finish. After that, I to the supermarket. To the local supermarket. Well, definitely it's go fishing. Yes. Okay. Go shopping. Sorry. Okay. Go fishing means something different. Yes. After that, I go shopping to the local supermarket. I, food, toiletries, and a newspaper. I buy. When I come back. When I come back home, I something in the microwave for 5 minutes. So we have put here. So it sounds good, really. I put something in the microwave for 5 minutes and then I have dinner. Yes. Okay. So we have dinner. Yes, we have it. Here it is. I, the dirty dishes in the dishwasher. Once again, put. Then I, my newspaper or the news on TV. I definitely read my newspaper or watch. Okay. And if I tired, I early. We have the verb to be there. If I am tired, I go to bed. Yes. Now, I shall read it once again, so listen to me. Every morning, I get up early. I switch on the coffee machine and I drink hot espresso with a lot of sugar. Then, I make my bed and have a shower. I get dressed and brush my hair. I drive to work. At lunchtime, I have a sandwich and a cup of coffee again. I finish work at 5 p.m. After that, I go shopping to the local supermarket. I buy food, toiletries, and a newspaper. When I come back home, I put something in the microwave for 5 minutes, and then I have dinner. I put the dirty dishes in the dishwasher. Then I read my newspaper or watch the news on TV. If I'm tired, I go to bed early. Още веднъж обърнете внимание на това как звучим. Говорейки по принцип, аз разказвам как протича един мой обикновен ден. Every morning I do this. Така, по същият начин аз мога да говоря казвайки sometimes I go to the cinema, at the weekend, very often I, and so on. Yes? Okay, let's move on. The second part of our exercise starts like yesterday morning. Well, we have the same text, but everything that I'm going to say is about yesterday morning. So, I shall use the past simple tense. Yes? Every morning I get up. Yesterday morning I got up. Yes, I got up early. I switched on. The coffee machine and I drank hot espresso with a lot of sugar. Then I made my bed and had a shower. I and my hair. I got dressed. Okay, it's not here actually. I got dressed and brushed my hair. I brushed my hair. I drove to work. At lunchtime, I had a sandwich and a cup of coffee again. Okay. I finished work at 5. After that, I went shopping. Yes? Not shipping, shopping, and we have the double P there. Okay. Okay, I went shopping to the local supermarket. I bought food, toiletries, and the newspaper. When I came back home, I put, yes, no change. The past tense is put again. So I put something in the microwave for 5 minutes and then had dinner. Okay. So next I put again the dirty dishes and then I, okay, so then I read, pay attention, okay, the spelling is just like read, but in the past tense it is read. I read my newspaper, or now it doesn't sound good, okay, it should be like and. I read my newspaper and watched the news on TV. Сега, нека да обърнем внимание тук. Когато говоря по принцип, аз не говоря за конкретно действие, което се е случило. Обаче, когато говоря в минало просто време, на практика аз говоря за едно действие, което вече се е случило, аз описвам точно това, което е станало. Така че аз не мога да употребя or като думичка, която дава избор. Okay, so I cannot use or here. So it should be and. Yes? Then I read my newspaper and watched the news. I cannot say or watched. Yes? This is something that happened. Okay, there is no choice. Okay, moving on. I was tired. Okay. And I went to bed early. Okay. So, once again, listen to me. Yesterday morning, I got up early. I switched on the coffee machine and drank hot espresso with a lot of sugar. I made my bed and had a shower. I got dressed and brushed my hair. I drove to work. At lunchtime, I had a sandwich and a cup of coffee again. I finished work at 5 p.m. After that, I went shopping to the local supermarket. I bought food, toiletries, and a newspaper. When I came back home, I put something in the microwave for 5 minutes and then had dinner. I put the dirty dishes in the dishwasher. Then I read my newspaper and watched the news on TV. I was tired and went to bed early. Now, pay attention once again. How do we sound? Искам да обърна внимание още веднъж. Как звучим? Аз разказвам конкретно нещо, което се е случило. И затова тези пояснения по отношение на последните изречения бяха наистина важни. Когато аз говоря по принцип, аз мога да използвам or. Защото на практика аз не говоря за конкретна ситуация. Okay? I did this or that. Yes? Както и в последното изречение, което виждате в горната част, е като условно наклонение. If I'm tired, I go to bed. Yes? It is zero conditional, yes? And in the last one here, I just say what I did. I was tired and I went to bed early. So we have the next exercise. Okay? So you see some verbs. We have the base form and we have to type here the third person singular, the ing form and the past form. Okay, just like work, works, working, worked. Okay, the first one, reach. Well, it's easy. Reaches. Yes. Next, reaching. And what about the past form? Reached. What about play? Plays. Okay. No change there, yes? Playing. Played. Next one, stop. Stops. Stopping. And we have double P. Така, нека да припомним. Думички, завършващи на крайна съгласна. Съгласна само с една гласна пред нея. Съгласната се удвоява при поставяне на окончание ing и ed. Okay. Stopping. Stopped. Call. Calls. Calling. Cold. Okay, what about travel? Travels. Okay, it's the ing form here. So, traveling. Okay. Okay. Travels, traveling, traveled. Need. Needs. Needing. Needed. Dry. Well. We have Y. Dries, but what about the spelling there? Yes, dries. Drying, yes. And dried. Okay? Така, и когато имахме Y след съгласна, Y преминава в и поставяме окончание ES или съответно ED. Okay. Let's go on. Stay. Stays. Staying. Stayed. Open. Opens. Opening, opened. Okay. Equip, equips. Equipping, we shall have double P. And we'll have equipped, double P again. Yes. Discover. Yes. Okay. We have an E here. Discovers. Discovering. Discovered. Yes. Worry. Worries. Worrying. And worried. Clean. Cleans. Cleaning. Cleaned. Study. Studies. Okay. Studying. Studied. Yes. So next one, die. Dies. Dying, pay attention here, we have Y and died. Dance. Dances. Dancing. Okay, there is no E there, yes. Okay, and danced. Okay. And a few more. Slip. Slips. Slipping. Slipped. Okay, double P here. Yes. Bake. Bakes. Baking. Baked. Tie. Oh, it's like die. Yes. Ties. Tying. Tied. And last one, laugh. Well, it's easy. Laughs. Loving. And loved. Yes? Well, that's it. So, the next exercise, revision of articles. Okay, it's really useful. Okay, and they're very important. We have to fill in a, an, the, where necessary. Mark nothing with a dash. Okay? So, in a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Yes? So, not, we have nasty, dirty, wet hole, and not dry, sandy hole with nothing to sit on it. So, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, and not a dry, sandy hole with nothing to sit on it. It was a hobbit hole. It had, okay, so it had a perfectly round green door with a shiny yellow knob in the exact middle. Yes, let's fill them in. It had a perfectly round green door with a shiny yellow knob in the exact middle. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look. Door opened onto long hall like tunnel. Very comfortable tunnel without smoke, with clean and so on. So let's see. The door. Yes, something that we mentioned already. Opened onto a long hall like a tunnel. Okay. So a very comfortable tunnel without smoke, nothing, yes? With clean wooden wall panels and carpets on the floors. Okay. With chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. Okay, so here we have nothing. So lots of pegs and hats and coats. Okay, so I want you to pay attention here. If it was a lot of, so we need a. Yes, but it's lots of. A lot of or lots of. We can use both. Okay. Now let's move on. Hobbit was fond of visitors. Okay, so something that we mentioned already. So the hall was fond of visitors. Hall. The hall that we talked about. Okay, the hall zigzagged into the side of the hill and if we have to go on, the hill, as all people round called it. So the hill, as all people, can I say and all the people? I did say that here we can use both. Okay, let's leave it like this. I think it's okay. Let's see, as all the people. Okay, as all the people, it sounds good. As all the people around called it, and many little round doors opened out of it, first on the side and then on another. Okay, let's go on. So, bedroom, bathroom, cellars, pantries, lots of these. So, the bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these. We have nothing here. Wardrobes, kitchens, dining rooms, all were on the same floor and on the same passage. The best, yes, the best rooms were all on the left hand side and were the only ones with windows. Okay. Once again, the best rooms were all on the left hand side and were the only ones with windows, round windows looking over his garden on the slope of the hill. Yes. This hobbit was a very well-to-do hobbit. So we have a here. His name was Baggins. Okay, now let's say a few things about the articles. Something very important that we have to know. Articles in English define. Okay? Let's say it like this. If I use a or an, well, I say something for the first time. Yes, it is not defined. Yes, so that's why we call it indefinite article. Yes, I'm talking generally. Yes, also, for example, okay, a man hates shopping. If I use the plural, there won't be any a or the. Men don't like or hate shopping. Yes. Така, нека да кажем нещо за членуването. На практика, членовете в английският език определят. И нека да определим по този начин разликата между а, and, the. Когато нещо е логично определено, аз използвам да. Какво означава това? Имаме нещо предварително споменато или аз логично знам за какво говоря. Нещо е логично определено. И когато точно обратното, нещо не е логично определено, споменавам нещо за първи път, например, или когато говоря по принцип, споменавайки броими съществителни, общо и по принцип, а не конкретно, тогава аз ще използвам а. Тук се получава една разлика в българския език. Ние казваме по принцип мъжът мрази да пазарува. Например, в английски трябва да бъде a man hates shopping. Как ще звучим? Един мъж мрази да пазарува. А идва от one. Това е техният начин да говорим общо и по принцип. Ако вие кажете the man, the next question is who are you talking about? So if you say the, well, you sound as if you know who you're talking about. Yes? Okay. So, we have a really interesting text there. Today, roller skating is easy and fun. But a long time ago, it wasn't easy at all. Before 1750, the idea of skating didn't exist. That changed because of a man named Joseph Mерлин. Merlin's work was making musical instruments. In his spare time, he liked to play the violin. Joseph Mерлin was a man of ideas and dreams. People called him a dreamer. One day Mерлin received an invitation to attend a fancy dress ball. He was very pleased and a little excited. As the day of the party came near, Mерлin began to think how to make a grand entrance at the party. he had an idea. He thought he would get a lot of attention if he could skate into the room. Mерлin tried different ways to make himself roll. Finally, he decided to put 2 wheels under each shoe. These were the first roller skates. Mерлin was very proud of his invention, as dreamed of arriving at the party on wheels while playing the violin. On the night of the party, Mерлin rolled into the room playing his violin. Everyone was astonished to see him. There was just one problem. Mерлin had no way to stop his roller skates. He rolled on and on. Suddenly he ran into a huge mirror that was hanging on the wall. Down fell the mirror, breaking to pieces. Nobody forgot Merlin's grand entrance for a long time. Well, sounds interesting, don't you think? Okay, let's try and answer a few questions. Now, the text is mainly about a strange man. Was he a strange man? Why not? We can say yes. The text is about a strange man. Okay, can we say something different? It was about an unusual party. Well, definitely the party was unusual, or we don't know for sure. How roller skating began, how people enjoyed themselves in the 18th century. Well, I think that the text is about how roller skating began. Generally, it describes this. And also, I can say it's about a strange man, just because I think that this man, Mерлin, was really a strange man. Okay? So, number 2. People thought Mерлin was a dreamer because he often gave others surprises, was a gifted musician, invented the roller skates, was full of imagination. Okay? Definitely the answer here is was full of imagination. Why? He often gave others surprises. Maybe. Yes? Well, he was a gifted musician. Okay, was he actually? I don't think so. Okay, he liked playing the violin, that's it, nothing more. Invented the roller skates. Well, this came after that, yes? So that's why I think that the best answer here is, okay, Mерлin was full of imagination. Mерлin put wheels under his shoes in order to, okay, let's see, impress the party guests, arrive at the party sooner, test his invention, show his skills in walking on wheels. Okay. Definitely we can say all of these. Okay? But I don't think that he arrived at the party sooner. I don't think that he was used to kind of, using them in a really good way, yes? So, if I have to pick just one here, okay, I would say impress the party guests. Okay? He wanted to get a lot of attention, yes? Okay, let's move on. And the last question here is, what is the main point the writer is trying to make in the last paragraph? The roller skates needed further improvement. The party guests remembered Mерлin. Mерлin succeeded beyond expectation. Mерлin got himself into trouble. Okay, if you remember, actually, the text finished with a sentence like that people, okay, really remember that, okay? So I think the answer here is the party guests remembered Marilyn. Yes? Okay. That's it.